Hello, book people. PT here. It's Tuesday, and last Tuesday and today, and for the next couple of Tuesdays here, I'm going to do a thing where I pick kind of like a weird sub genre or topic and talk about three books in that particular vein. Last week I did three unconventional sports novels. Today I'm going to talk about three body hopping books. So what I mean by body hopping is basically the Quantum Leap thing. If you're old enough like me to remember Quantum Leap, that wonderful show, or maybe you just caught it in reruns on or whatever. But basically the idea is that someone takes possession of someone else's body for a period of time and then hops to someone else's body, and so is controlling various people's bodies for various lengths of time. There's quite a number of these books. I know Every Day is a popular one, which I have not read, and that's not going to be on my list today. But it's just a cool concept, right? The idea of someone hopping into different bodies. So the first one I'm going to pick and talk about is one that I've mentioned before, and it's written by a friend of this channel who I interviewed on this channel, John L. Monk, and that is the Jenkins Cycle, the first book being Kick. In that story, Dan Jenkins is a guy who committed suicide, but rather than like going to heaven or hell or something, he finds out that he is kind of in this ambiguous purgatory-esque place, and a little portal appears and he can go through it and go into someone's body and control their body for about 3 weeks. The catch is that those people usually turn out to be very, very bad people. They might be a serial killer or something like that. And so he has kind of that 3 week time window before the person is able to kick him out, hence the title Kick. He kind of feels them kick and fight his presence in them, and eventually he's able to push them, or they're able to push him out after about 3 weeks. But he has that 3 weeks to kind of figure out what their crime is and kind of solve it. So it's really cool books because they are sort of like a little bit like Dexter-ish, in that it's really a dark vigilante kind of thing, but also it's kind of Dexter meets Quantum Leap. Really cool books, and they're written in the first person in a very charming style. John L. Monk has a great narrative voice in those books. So the first one's Kick. Check it out. The next one I want to mention is Touch by Claire North. It's similar to her book, The First 15 Lives of Harry August. I think it's very atmospheric and more about like kind of like the mystery of what's going on around it, rather than like the fun of the adventure of that particular ride like it is in Kick. So it's a very different tone from Kick, even though it's a very similar setup. The third one I'm going to recommend, and well, can I even recommend it because I haven't read it yet, but I think it's such a fascinating format that they're using to tell these stories that I did want to mention it. So this is the Karma Police series by David Wright and Sean Platt, and the first book is called Jumper, I think. Yeah, Jumper. I've not read these yet, but the reason I wanted to recommend it is, or at least put it on the radar, put it on the list here, is because, oh, did you hear that? That's my dog. He is freaking out. Don't worry, everybody's all right. My dog's all right. So even though I haven't read Jumper, the reason I wanted to put it on the list is I have read some stuff by David Wright and Sean Platt and enjoyed it. These books in particular, what's interesting to me about these is they are a series of novellas, which is a format that I really like. It's the way I did my Zane Halloway series. They're not like, the way I understand it is they're not like serials where it's cliffhangers at the end of each episode. Each one is a self-contained story, much like my Zane Halloway books, but then there is a larger overarching Karma Police plot. So you're getting a complete story, but it's an ongoing series of novellas. So those are the three body hopping books I wanted to bring to your attention: Kick, Touch, and Jumper. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you've read any of those, or if you have any other recommendations for body hopping books. I just love that concept, and I'd like to read more of those. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video.